Want to learn crochet but don't know where to start? Well, you're in the right place. In this video, we will explore 5 essential tips for crochet beginners. Starting with simple projects and basic stitches, we'll then delve into the importance of choosing the right yarn and hook. We'll learn about the significance of counting stitches, practicing tension control, and understanding patterns. These steps are crucial to make your crochet journey a delightful and successful one. Mastering these 5 basic tips will make your crochet project that much more fun and successful. Starting with the basics is the key to mastering any skill, and it's no different with crochet. When you're starting your crochet journey, it's wise to begin with simple projects. Think small, manageable, and straightforward. A dishcloth, a coaster, or a bookmark can be a great starting point. The goal is not to create a masterpiece right away, but to get your hands comfortable with the yarn and the hook. Now let's talk about stitches. 3 basic stitches form the backbone of almost all crochet projects: the single crochet, double crochet, and chains. The single crochet, as the name suggests, is the simplest and most basic of all crochet stitches. The double crochet, though a little more complicated, is still very easy to master. And chains? They're the foundation upon which all your projects will be built. So how about the materials? For beginners, we recommend using light-colored yarn with a smooth texture. Why so? Because light colors make it easier to see and count your stitches. A smooth texture, on the other hand, will not snag on your hook and will glide through your fingers easily, making the whole process more enjoyable. Now you might be wondering why we're focusing so much on the basics. Well, the answer is simple. Mastering these fundamental stitches and understanding the nature of the yarn you're using will build a solid foundation for your crochet journey. It will make learning more complex patterns later on much less daunting and much more fun. As you practice these stitches and work on your first simple projects, you'll find your rhythm. You'll start to understand how the yarn moves, how it feels in your hands, and how to manipulate it to create the stitches you want. And that, my friends, is the beauty of crochet. It's not just about the end product, but also about the journey, the learning, the discovery, and yes, even the mistakes, because they too are part of the process. So let's embrace the basics. Let's build our crochet foundation, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Remember, mastering these fundamental stitches will build a solid foundation for more complex patterns later on. The right tools can make all the difference in your crochet experience. That's a sentiment shared by countless crafters, and it rings especially true when it comes to crochet. The yarn and hook you choose can impact everything from the ease of stitching to the final look and feel of your project. Let's start by talking about yarn weight. You see, every crochet pattern will recommend a specific yarn weight. This is not a suggestion to be taken lightly. The weight of the yarn directly influences the size of your stitches and therefore the overall size and drape of your finished project. If you use a heavier or lighter yarn than recommended, your project might end up too large or too small, and the drape might not be quite right. Now, on to the hook. The size of the crochet hook you use interacts with the weight of your yarn to create your stitches. Imagine trying to create delicate lacework with a thick, heavy yarn and a large hook. It wouldn't quite work, would it? Conversely, a thin, lightweight yarn on a tiny hook might be perfect for that lacework, but it would make a rather flimsy and holey blanket. But what if you're just starting out and don't have a specific project in mind? Well, for beginners, a light-colored, medium-weight yarn, often referred to as worsted weight, is a great choice. The lighter color makes it easier to see your stitches, which is helpful when you're still learning. And a medium-weight yarn is versatile, suitable for a wide range of projects. As for the hook, a size that corresponds to your medium-weight yarn is ideal. This usually means a hook in the middle of the size range. It's large enough to handle comfortably and small enough to create neat, even stitches. In conclusion, picking the right yarn and hook isn't just about preference. It's about ensuring your project turns out the way you want it to. And remember, practice makes perfect. The more you crochet, the better you'll understand how different yarns and hooks work together. Using the correct combination ensures that your finished project will have the right size and drape. So choose wisely and happy crocheting. Counting stitches is more than just a numbers game. It's an essential part of crochet that serves as your roadmap, guiding you throughout the journey of your project. Every stitch you make plays a crucial role in shaping the final masterpiece, and that's why it's vital to keep an accurate count. Think of counting stitches as a safety net. It's a way to ensure that you're on the right path and, more importantly, It helps you identify any mistakes that might have crept in along the way. This is especially important because in crochet, a single missed or extra stitch can alter the entire pattern or size of your project. So how do you keep track of all these stitches? Well, one effective method is to count your stitches at the end of each row or round. This practice can help you catch any deviations early on, allowing you to fix them before they cause more significant issues. Now, I understand that keeping count of every single stitch might seem a bit daunting, especially for larger projects. But don't worry, there's a handy tool that can help. Stitch markers. These are little markers that you can place at specific points in your pattern, such as at the start of a new round or at a particular stitch. Stitch markers serve as checkpoints, helping you keep track of your progress and making it easier to identify where you are in the pattern. They are like breadcrumbs in a forest, guiding you on your crochet journey and ensuring you never lose your way. But remember, counting stitches and using stitch markers is not about achieving perfection. It's about understanding and maintaining the rhythm of your project. It's about creating a consistent pattern that resonates with your vision and brings your project to life. So embrace the counting and let it guide you. Use stitch markers to help you navigate through your pattern. And remember, always count your stitches at the end of each row or round to catch any mistakes early on. Consistent tension is the key to uniform stitches. Crocheting is a lot like dancing on a tightrope. It requires a delicate balance, a rhythm, and a steady hand. One of the most crucial aspects of this art is maintaining a consistent tension. This is what ensures your stitches are uniform and your final piece is beautifully even. Imagine tension as the heartbeat of your crochet work. If it's too fast or too slow, the rhythm is off, and your project can end up looking quite different from what you intended. But when the tension is just right, everything falls into place, and you create a masterpiece. So how do you find this perfect balance? Well, it's all in the grip. How you hold your yarn and hook can greatly influence the tension. Some prefer a pencil grip, others a knife grip. The key is to find the grip that feels most comfortable for you. Don't be afraid to experiment. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all in crochet. It's all about what works best for you. Now, let's say you've experimented with different grips, but your stitches are still too tight, or maybe they're too loose. Don't fret. You can always adjust your hook size. If your stitches are too tight, try a larger hook. And if they're too loose, a smaller hook might be the solution. It's a bit of trial and error, but with time, you'll find the perfect match. Keep in mind that tension control is not something you master overnight. It takes practice, patience, and perseverance. But don't let this discourage you. Each stitch is a step closer to mastering this art. Each project is an opportunity to improve. So keep at it, and before you know it, you'll have the tension control down to a fine art. Achieving a comfortable and even tension will ensure that your stitches are uniform throughout the project. So keep practicing, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep enjoying the journey. Remember, the joy of crochet lies not just in the finished piece, but also in the process of creating it. Since understanding your pattern is crucial before you dive into your project. Getting a firm grip on your crochet pattern is like having a map before embarking on a journey. It gives you a clear direction and helps you avoid unnecessary detours. So before you pick up your hook and yarn, take the time to thoroughly read and understand your pattern. Crochet patterns can seem like a foreign language at first, with their unique abbreviations and symbols. But don't worry, with a little patience, you'll soon be fluent. Familiarize yourself with any special stitches or techniques mentioned in the pattern. This might involve some research or practice, but it's worth it. Understanding these elements beforehand will make the actual crocheting process smoother and more enjoyable. Now, a lengthy pattern can feel overwhelming, especially for beginners. But here's a little secret. Break it down into smaller sections. This approach makes the project feel less daunting and more manageable. Imagine you're assembling a puzzle, piece by piece, each stitch contributing to the beautiful picture you're creating. Focus on one step at a time. Concentrate on mastering each row or round before moving on to the next. This way, you're not just blindly following the pattern, but truly understanding it. This understanding will boost your confidence and make the process less stressful. Remember to also keep an eye out for repeats in your pattern. These are sections that need to be done multiple times. Identifying them early can save you from confusion later on. Lastly, don't rush. Crocheting is not a race. It's a creative journey meant to be savored. If you get stuck or make a mistake, it's okay. It's all part of the learning process. Take a deep breath, revisit your pattern, and try again. taking the time to understand your pattern will reduce the chances of making mistakes and make your project more manageable. So, embrace the process, celebrate your progress, and most importantly, have fun with your crochet projects. Patience is key when learning to crochet. As you embark on this creative journey, remember to start with the basics. Use the right yarn and hook, count your stitches, practice tension control, and take the time to understand your patterns. Each of these steps is a crucial building block to becoming a successful and joyful crocheter. Celebrate your progress no matter how small, and remember that mistakes are not setbacks, but stepping stones to improvement. Enjoy the creative journey and have fun with your crochet projects.